tournament match.
Yes, sir. First round matchup on the other side of the bracket here for these two teams as the newly team of Prince Lee and Jack Calloway creating this alliance here tonight as they go up against Just Vibin. Dan, as I said earlier in the show here tonight, championship gold can make you do some strange things, and the team of Jack Calloway and Prince Lee is quite the strange bedfellows that we'll see in this matchup. Oh my goodness. Well, as we were waiting for Calloway's music to drop,
introducing
Prince
first,
Lee interrupted.
The X Factor, Jack Calloway, Pure Evil, Prince Lee.
Well, Calloway, that's something you kind of had to know in the back of your mind. These two no strangers, Dan. These two coming out of Lions Pride together, trained together. They're no strangers with one another. And the fact that Prince Lee was able to convince Calloway to partner up with him for this tournament. Calloway had his reservations, but obviously, like I said, championship gold aspirations on the mind. Decided to shake hands with Lee, but a little bit shaky right here for this new team coming right out of the gate.
Hey, listen, both of these guys have the same mindset. If I could just win a couple matches with this guy, I could beat his ass and then get a shot at the World Championship. How about that?
I mean, that's what exactly how these two in tag team competition. They are very well accoladed tag team champions in various promotions.
They haven't had New Texas Pro Gold.
They not have had New Texas Pro Gold. As a matter of fact, every team in this tournament besides the 8th day has never held the New Texas Pro Tag Team Championships. All those teams vying to have that first championship title reign in the tag division. And it looks like Jack Calloway and the former TCS champion, Just Nick, are going to start things off here.
Or try to be a world champion. You know, I've seen matches between Kenny Calypso and Just Nick. We've seen it all across the history of the Texas Contender Series. Kenny and Nick going at it. I bet if they win this tournament, which I don't think is going to happen, they're going to face each other. They're going to face, and I think it's going to be Kenny. Kenny is just so out of his mind, crazy looking for gold. that he thinks, you know what, I could beat Just Nick. I've beaten Just Nick for a championship before. I could do it again. Meanwhile, it's going to catch Nick off guard because Nick will just befriend anyone, pay attention to anyone, trust anyone. Kenny's going to say, oh, yeah, Just Nick. Oh, we're going to challenge for the tag team championships. And then, when he least expects it, he's going to say, no, Just Nick. I'm going to have a match with you. Catch him off guard. Nick won't see it coming. Nick never sees anything coming. What did I say last time? Life is hard enough as it is. It's even harder when you're stupid, and it's the hardest when your name is Just Nick.
Good grief.
Okay, Charlie Brown.
And we got the same hairstyle. All right, so as you mentioned, Dan, Kenny Calypso does have a victory over Just Nick, but Just Nick also has a victory over Kenny Calypso. So if these two did happen to win the tournament, hypothetically here, and decide to go one-on-one for that opportunity at the New Texas Pro World Championship that's held by Stephen Wolf, it would be the rubber match between the two.
Now, we already know what Prince Lee and Jack Calloway are going to do when they win.
That agreement has already been predetermined by that team as the alliance was made that these two win this tournament and then choose the option of going one-on-one for that opportunity to be the #1 contender for Stephen Wolf's New Texas Pro World Heavyweight Championship as Just Nick kicks out of that leg headlock from Prince Lee as Lee locks the headlock now onto Just Nick.
See, Trent, that's why I love this tournament. It's the intrigue.
I'll agree with you. There are endless possibilities and outcomes that could possibly happen. And it's the idea, the theory of the unknown that makes it all the more intriguing. As Lee off the ropes, leapfrog from Nick. Oh, wow. Japanese arm drag from Nick, and now locked into an arm bar on Lee.
The crowd firmly behind Prince Lee, urging him on to make a tag.
I'm hard of hearing, but I didn't hear that.
They want him. They're like, Prince Lee, get out of there, tag. Rejuvenate yourself on the outside.
Well, Nick makes a tag to Kenny. Kenny rolling, creating some space and flying in with a forearm onto Lee as Nick picks up Lee, slams him down. And a rolling leg drop from Calypso. There's a cover.
You know, and that's kind of the thing, you know, Prince Lee and Jack Calloway, rivals. They've never tagged together, and they're going up against a perennial tag team. There's going to be some hiccups.
Yeah, one of those hiccups right there on that attempted tag right there. Had to go back for a tag once more as Lee and Calloway struggling a little early in this matchup as a team. Kenny not struggling at all, connecting with those knees into the corner. A big snapmare. And that vicious snapmare whiplash action onto the head and neck of Calloway. There's a big jumping elbow drop from the Pineapple Lord and a cover.
You know, Jack Calloway and Kenny Calypso, this is a matchup I haven't seen before. This is something fresh here in the Texas Contender Series ring. Makes you think that, you know, maybe somewhere down the line, these two are going to meet again in a singles contest. And, you know, if this tournament plays out in either of their team's directions, we could see that for gold.
Well, you saw Calloway throwing Kenny into the ropes. Lee capitalizing as he kicked Kenny in the back, and Calloway confused by the actions of Lee, but not confused as he connects with that bulldog right there and a cover.
Kenny out at one.
And as we continue to see some of the miscommunication of Lee and Calloway not on the same page. It's hard to be on the same page, Dan, when you're probably not even reading the same book. Calloway trying to hook Kenny, is able to do so. Oh, looking for a big double arm DDT, but Kenny connects with a code breaker. Sends Calloway down on the mat.
Prince Lee.
Lee sneaking in and connecting with a big drop kick onto Calypso, but he's not the legal man, as the referee is telling Lee to go back to his corner, but wisely Lee drags Kenny over to his corner and drags his partner to his corner and makes a tag to now become the legal man in this matchup.
Hey, when it's high stakes, it's any means necessary. If you could get away with that, if you're Prince Lee and you could get away with a little trick like that, I say go for it. It's all about the gold. And isolating your opponent in your side of the ring, your corner. That is the bread and butter of successful tag teams.
Lee just toying with Calypso in their corner as he just rubs that foot into the back of Calypso. Kenny trying to muster up something to create some space. And Lee just punches Kenny and kicks him for good measure. Now, Lee hooking Kenny. Telling some fans what he thinks of him as he connects with a vertical suplex onto the back of Calypso. And there's a cover. And Calypso sustaining a lot of punishment to that back, as you see Nick gingerly getting into the ring, needing to break up the cover if need be.
Lee's got to get a little closer to his corner right now. Now this would be an opportunity for Lee and Calloway to do some tandem maneuvers, maybe quick one in, quick one out. Fast tags, isolate Kenny, keep him on your side. There's a lot to what you said before, them not being on the same page, maybe not even reading the same book. Prince Lee has been very dominant over Kenny Calypso right now, but there's always the Just Nick on the outside, who could have easily broken up that pin, chose not to.
But Kenny still managed to kick out.
Saving his save, so to speak.
And Nick was right there to break up the count, as he sees that his partner is in a very, very bad spot right now.
Prince Lee has got to have eyes in the back of his head.
This crowd hyping up Kenny, and Kenny firing up with some forearms, a discus forearm as Lee retreats to the corner, tagging in Calloway.
Smart move by Lee.
Kenny connecting with the kick to the back of the head on Calloway.
Hey, listen, you don't need to like each other, you just need to win.
So that's the name of the game in this all-for-one, one-for-all tournament. Victories can add up to championships in this very tournament, whether you like each other or not. In this case, not so much the team of Calloway, as he tags in Lee, and Kenny makes a tag into Nick.
And here comes the former champion.
Flying European uppercut. Off the ropes goes Nick. That flying corkscrew headbutt. And there you see Nick slapping the head that he utilizes as a weapon time in and time out. Lion salt. Oh, sugar honey iced tea on that.
Whoa. Prince Lee barely kicking out of that lion salt from the former Texas Contender Series champion, Just Nick.
Now Nick sending Lee into his corner. Big clothesline. Kenny tags himself back in. Now Vibin working in tandem, atomic drop on Lee. In position, big flying European uppercut off the rope is Kenny. There's a cover. Wow.
Jack Calloway saving it for his team, but getting into that predicament, that's why, Just Vibin, team that's been working together, that's going to give them the edge in this contest. But right now it is bedlam as all four competitors are in the ring.
Well,
Nick just chucked to the outside.
Well, Calloway connecting with that back line, sending Nick out onto the floor. And now Kenny has Lee perched on the top rope, as Lee trying to find a way to position himself
Save him,
And
Jack.
now Calloway's coming in.
Save him, Jack.
Has Kenny, as Lee still sitting on top. Oh, a big, huge blue thunder bomb in the center of the ring. And now positioning Kenny for his partner Lee, who's up top with a huge top rope elbow drop. Here's a cover, this could be all. Oh, Just Nick was right there to break it up. Dan, we could have very well seen Calloway and Lee moving on to the final, or the second round matchup in this tournament.
And you know, the story is the same of the first matchup that we saw here. Jack Calloway did not know where Just Nick was. He could have made the block, decided not to, or didn't know where Nick was. And it's that type of ring awareness that creates great tag teams.
Oh,
and it's
Calloway!
that type of awareness.
Looking for the X Factor, but Kenny moved out of the way, and Calloway connected with his partner. Boba shot lariat from Nick.
Kenny's going up top. What's Kenny doing?
Kenny up top with a top shelf. Frog splash, here's a cover. Nick on top as well, and that's all.
Just Vibin advances.
Just Vibin advancing in the
Here are
all-for-one,
your
one-for-all tournament.
winners, Kenny Calypso, Just Nick, the team of Just Vibin.
And Dan, with that victory, it makes things interesting for this tournament because now Just Vibin moves on to the second round, who they will face the 8th day. And Just Nick, I'm sure, would love nothing more to get his hands on the 8th day after their actions at TCS 34. And Calloway graciously in defeat, extending his hand, a show of respect to Just Vibin. And you can see Lee on the outside, disgusted at Calloway, showing respect to the victors here tonight.
Whoa.
Oh, there's Lee and Calloway, no love lost. But now the plan has been destroyed as Lee and Calloway make their way out.